My number one important quote: "Fuck them ribs."
Hi, girly.
Hi, girly.
I'm Eliana,
And I'm Derek.
and this is
Episode 5
of the book club
for the girlies. Today's episode. Well, welcome back.
Yeah.
On today's episode, we're gonna be talking about a fan favorite. Before I Let Go by Miss Kennedy Ryan.
Yep. We're excited.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
Yeah. So please be sure that you have subscribed to us,
Please.
that you have watched the other videos that
Yes.
we've put up. Please. And be kind to one another and each other and us in the comments. And also, please be kind to the author of this book because we are sharing our thoughts, but we also really loved their work.
Exactly. So be kind in the comments, but be sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and enjoy the video.
Spoiler alert, you guys, watch at your own risk because we're going to be getting into this book. So
Yes,
if
we
you
are.
don't want any spoilers, just put us on a lower volume.
Please.
But still watch the video.
Yes, let's get that view.
Thank you. Okay, let's get into it.
Yes.
So, it's called Before I Let Go
Mhm.
by Miss Kennedy Ryan, and it's my first Kennedy Ryan book, but Derek here has been begging me to read one of her books.
Yes, this was also my first Kennedy Ryan book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, and it opened up the floodgates for me
Mhm.
to I went in a deep dive for like a month straight. Okay, so this is a love story, but like a second chance love story, and it deals with like growth and maturity and forgiveness. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I also felt like this was too short of a read because I just ended up loving Yasmin and Josiah, who are the protagonists of the book.
Yes.
And I could have read more about them.
Same. So it's told in first person point of view. Each chapter it goes back and forth between Josiah and Yasmin's point of view.
Yeah.
I also I could still be reading about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were just such a lovely couple.
Which, by the way, there's a sequel, but it's not about them.
Mm-mm.
Which I didn't read ahead yet, but now I'm upset because now I want more of them. But if you didn't know, the sequel has to do with Soledad.
Yes.
Which is, I also still want to read about that. I like her.
Okay, let's jump into likes and dislikes. Do you want to start? What did you like and dislike about this book?
Sure. I mean, I just like who Yasmin and Josiah are as people. So it was no pain reading this book. I also liked how they addressed that as a couple, they just see things differently. And they cope completely differently. I think that that's something
it was a big one.
That's a big deal, especially because I feel like some people think that you can't be a match if you cope with things differently, or like
right.
Someone has to be exactly like you. I don't necessarily think that that's real, you know?
It isn't real. Yeah.
And I also love the positive representation of a black couple, especially a black father. So, what did you like?
That's like my number one favorite thing. I love a dad, and I really loved, like you said, like a positive representation of a black father, of a black couple. Truly,
yeah.
I loved how they ran as a family.
Yeah.
I really appreciated, especially as like a kid who like parents weren't together. I loved seeing how they co-parented, how they were still very much a team. They put the children first.
Yeah.
It was like my favorite thing about the book.
In terms of my dislikes, I think I was just always annoyed at their bickering. I just felt like it was unnecessary, it was useless, and like, for me personally, it's a pet peeve when we don't address what the actual problem is. Yeah, that's all that I disliked about the book. Everything else I thought was wonderful.
Some things that I disliked.
Tell me.
Number one, and I'm sorry, Vashti.
Oh,
I disliked Vashti.
Oh yeah, she wasn't great. Also, the she was at the house. That wasn't cute.
Let me put my phone down. I just feel like, as an adult woman, right, of a certain
Hmm.
age, because you're not a young woman, you're an adult, you're an established adult, you're a great chef, obviously, so you're a grown up.
Hmm.
You know not to involve your to insert yourself into certain situations.
Yeah.
I felt like this was 1000% a situation she knew better than to get involved with. First of all, you work for these people.
Hmm.
They are a divorced couple. That's already like, let me just work for them.
Yeah.
I get that he's fine.
Hmm.
I get it. I get it. And charming. And, all the good, and you see him being a great dad and he runs a business, but also, you also work for his ex wife.
Hmm.
And don't insert yourself in that situation at all, girl.
It's also just so like you were saying. It's only been 2 years. It's
It's
only
raw.
Yeah,
And they were like in love.
and they were in the middle of dealing with a teenager and like a 10-year-old, and that's a lot.
It's a lot to insert yourself into.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, she was at her house, at Yasmin's house, playing games with
With
her
her
kids,
children.
with
No one
her
had
husband.
told her anything. Like we didn't even have a full-on conversation like, "Oh, we acknowledge we're together."
Exactly. You're just in my house with my children and my
Yeah.
ex husband. And it was, I remember literally going, oh, because the audacity. It was like, Josiah, you know better.
Yeah. I didn't Okay, so what I will say is that I didn't like the fact that it was almost like Yasmin gaslit herself into thinking that
Mm-hmm.
she shouldn't feel any kind of way about it. Okay, fine that you wanted the divorce and you wanted to divorce. No, sorry. Okay, fine that you wanted to divorce your husband and that you should now be letting him move on and you should move on as well. But what happened to respect? Basic
Period.
respect. I don't think that there's a problem with feeling uncomfortable that Vashti was in her home like that, and that Josiah had never mentioned anything to
Right.
her about it.
We never even had a conversation about it.
Yeah,
It was just, it was disrespectful.
yeah,
And it crossed a boundary that I ain't like.
yeah, would agree. All right, so do you have any other dislikes?
Yes.
Okay,
um,
give them to me.
just one.
Okay.
Deja.
Oh, yeah, she was so.
Sassy.
To me, the word would be resentful.
Well, for sure. But it was resentful and disrespectful. Sassy was a trash word. It was a boring word. But 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 she was giving her mom a lot of attitude. And it
Yeah.
was like, which
Oh,
I
and
get.
Josiah kept acting like.
So that's what I dislike. That's what I wrote. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I wrote that I dislike that Josiah never addressed it appropriately.
Yeah.
Until he does like later on in the book, but I didn't like that Yasmin would say like, "Yo," or he'd witness it and he wasn't really like,
Yeah.
"Watch your mouth."
Yeah, because okay, so even if you're not together, you should still be a team.
Hello, we remain a front to these kids. Like,
Yeah.
they can't try me, they can't try you.
Like even if she's a teenager and she's at that age where she has issues with her mom, I don't think that's cool regardless. I don't think anybody should be accepting that behavior from a child anyway. So, uh,
Yeah, maybe that's just how
interesting
we
way
were
to handle
raised.
it.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, you don't have to be disrespectful,
to anybody.
especially your parent
Yeah.
who goes above and beyond.
Does so much. She definitely did downplay everything that her mother did and went
Mm-hmm.
through, and that was uncomfortable.
It was.
Because then also Yasmin never said anything to her. My mother would.
it
Yeah, there was
would have
no.
been the first time. It would have been like, "Have you lost your mind?"
Yeah, there would have been no way that my mom would have kept her mouth shut over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And then like she got to do whatever she wanted to do. She got to go buy hair. She got to use
The
the
phone and the
Instagram
TikTok or
account.
whatever she
Like
was doing. Yeah, no.
no.
And you get to talk to me like that?
Yeah, no, that
Have you
wouldn't
lost
have
your
happened.
mind? I look like a fool. I can hear Teresa right now.
Yeah. How would you rate this?
Okay, so we rate things on a scale of
WTF was that?
mm-hmm.
Interesting, but wouldn't read again.
Yes.
It was good. Loved, would read again. And how will I ever go on?
And that was me.
It was you. You
It was
were
me. I
how?
was like, how will I ever go on? And
Oh,
that's what like led me to like the deep dive. I was like, I need more. I wanted more specifically of this couple, of course, and these characters, but I was also just like, Miss Ryan, I just need everything you've written.
yeah. For me, I said loved, would read again,
Mm-hmm.
but I would like more out of them.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good. I
it was
enjoyed
really
it.
great. Okay, so we're gonna move into our quiz section now, and
Oh, are you excited?
I'm not really excited because you know me and this memory when it comes to.
It's okay. I don't have
Okay,
a bunch of questions this go round. Our
okay,
first question quote:
okay.
I see the power in choosing your own more. Okay. Now Yasmin says this. Okay, but who is she referring to when she says that?
I
Is
see.
it? Let me
Oh
give
my
you an
gosh.
option.
Okay.
Is it A, herself, B, Josiah, C, Hendrix, or D, Soledad?
I see the power. What?
In choosing your own more.
What does that even mean? You see the power in choosing your own, like choosing your own power? Wow. Um, power. E. Choosing your own more.
You give up?
I'm gonna go. I don't know why I think it's Soledad, but I think it's Josiah.
What's your answer?
I think it's Josiah.
Go with your gut, friend.
Oh, it was
It was
Soledad.
Soledad, yes. And
She did have an issue with her power.
yes. So, the line before that is, some might judge, um, some might judge that. Say a woman as smart as Soledad could do so much more.
Hmm.
I see the power in choosing your own more.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
We love so.
I thought it was like she actually said it to her.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I said referring to.
I don't know. There was
Okay.
too many words coming out of your mouth.
Okay. And our second and last question.
Okay.
Okay. She doesn't deserve you.
Oh, it's Deja.
Yeah.
she that was an annoying quote.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't deserve you. What do you know, kid? You just got here.
She doesn't deserve me?
You don't even know what the Pythagorean theorem is. Like
Does she even know what the mitochondria is? I don't think
I don't think
so.
so.
She irked my nerves,
She
that
really
child.
did. She was doing
Lord.
a lot.
All right. Let's move it along. Let's move right along to tearjerker or quotes that moved us. Um, what are some quotes or some tearjerkers that got to you, E?
I just thought these two were funny. It was Josiah talking about Kasim. He said, according to Kasim, dogs as tall as Otis end up swallowing air with their food when they have to bend down to eat, and it gets trapped in their digestive tract. Since bloat is the number one killer of Danes, Kasim is trying to outwit Otis's digestive system, including putting him on a raw diet. Is this true? That
I
stood out to me like a sore thumb.
I tend to believe Kasim.
Me too. I was like, wow, I should tell Paige about this.
Does she have a Great Dane?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Her dog is a Great Dane?
He's part Great Dane, part lab. Yeah.
I thought he was a lab.
Oh, yeah, he's just massive, and that's the
That's
Great
the
Dane
Dane
part.
part.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you have a Great Dane or a tall dog,
Raw diet.
raw diet, put the food up high. I don't know. There was a lot going on here. Anyway, The second one,
Mm-hmm.
she places her oversized bag on the floor and crosses her legs. I'm sorry, Yasmin, you did what?
Who puts their purse on the floor?
You did what?
Is that what you're gonna say?
Yes.
Because we don't do that.
What? What was that? They were having the meeting. I think it was with Harvey. Was his name?
Okay.
With
Yes.
the business manager. And when I read that, I was like,
Now, Miss
no,
Ryan.
no.
We don't put our bags on the floor, girl.
Yeah, those are my important quotes.
My number one important quote, and it was really like an inner thought more than a quote. We can bleep this out.
Oh,
It was, "Fuck them ribs," because he was going too hard. Like
really, every single night he wanted
he
those
wanted
ribs.
them ribs, and it's like,
And I wanted the ribs.
not for real. I want to know what was up with them ribs, but at the same time, I was like, say you like them ribs one more time.
F them ribs.
Yeah, bro. F them ribs, bro. Cause
sick of it.
I'm gonna make you swallow a rib whole. Say it again. Making me mad.
All right, for my tearjerker quotes. First one up is "You look more like your mom every day," and it's Josiah saying this to Deja. It made me cry because I remembered that he said he wanted his kids to look like Yasmin. The second one is he said his greatest fear is that his whole family will die. He also mentions losing you specifically, Mr. Wade. That I would die is what Josiah said, and then Miss Halstead goes that you would leave. He seems to have a good deal of insecurity around the family structure based on his entries, meaning journal entries. That made me really sad. I relate to Kasim because I had, and I still do, have a crazy fear of my parents dying. And that started when I was a small child. I was probably like 8 years old and just freaked out.
Yeah.
When I realized,
what death is, like, oh my goodness.
My parents are gonna die. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I have a couple more, but I feel like you should insert.
Okay, no. So that was also one of my tearjerker quotes because it like it squeezed at my heartstrings.
Yeah.
And I thought of like Messiah or Avery saying something like that, and it's really sad.
It really was.
I just wanted to hug him.
Yeah.
And then one of my tearjerkers is Josiah, of course. He says, "Then she laughed, and I wondered if this, finding someone you can laugh with when everything hurts, was the stuff happily ever afters were made of." And I was like, this man is in love. He got it bad. And it just.
And I guess, yeah, that is what happily ever afters are made
Right?
of, right? Yeah. So the next one I have is in the small silence following Kasim's question, I want to drag Josiah aside and beg him to let down his walls just this once, to at least pretend he hurts like the rest of us mortals so his son doesn't feel alone. And that was Yasmin's train of thought. And that's because it made me think of how alone she must have felt and grieving for her son, and then Josiah was trying to be a superhero for everyone. So that really got to me when she said that. And then the other one that gets me is where she goes, "I take care of my children." Like there's no other words for that. Like she's just screaming through the pain and insecurities. I felt that.
So did I. It was such a good book.
It really was.
Josiah again. He says, "No one in my whole life has ever hurt me like you did." And I went, woof. Woof.
But isn't that what it's about anyway? Is that they can hurt you like that? It sucks, but that's what it is.
She says, "I got it from Honey Chow. It's vanilla. You like it?" And he said, "It's fine, yeah."
Yeah, it's her perfume.
I say abruptly, yeah, her perfume. And she goes, "It's fine? Must be one of the best compliments anyone's ever paid me," she says with a dry laugh. And he goes, this is the quote that I had, "Is that what you want?" I swivel my head back around to stare at her. "Compliments? You need me to tell you how good you look and smell? Mark not pumping up your ego enough? And then he goes, why did I say that to himself? And I was like, ah. Like, again, it's not a tearjerker, but it pulled at my heartstrings because it's like, this man, this man loves this woman so much, and he doesn't want to hurt her, and he's like admonishing himself, like, why did I say that? Like,
That
why
was the
did I
kind
do
of
that to
stuff
her?
that I didn't like about the book, that they kept being petty toward each other. Like she kept not saying exactly how it was that she felt,
Girl,
and then he would say things that I just felt
he
were
didn't
so
even he didn't even
unnecessary.
mean them. He was just
You're so old at this
striking
point.
her
Why are
because he
you
was
saying
hurt.
those
Mm-hmm.
things? I don't like that.
Yeah,
Even if you're mad at me, don't talk to me like that.
please don't talk to me like
That's
that.
crazy. Um, Another one of my quotes was, it was about Kasim. His wide eyes meet mine, and he says, "I mean, it's fine. It's just different." And he was
Mm-hmm.
talking about like his family
Yeah,
dynamic. His gentle wisdom always
I
tugs at my
really love that little
heartstrings.
boy.
Yeah,
He's so sweet.
yeah. Okay, and then this is Josiah when he's watching Yasmin kiss her first date. Um, he goes, "None of this life is mine. Sure, I have proximity to her, to this home, but none of it belongs to me, and I no longer belong to it, to her. There can be hope growing inside of the woman you love more than life itself, and in a moment, that hope can be lost. That future snuffed out. That woman kissing someone else on the front porch of the house that used to be yours." That got me.
Mm-hmm. I have that one down too because I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because how true is that though? Like when, I mean, I don't know many divorced people,
Mm-hmm.
but um, especially not anyone who's divorced and are very much still in love with each other.
Yeah, no.
Right? Like we don't see that, but it's like the Etta James song, like like watching the person you love
Mm-hmm.
walk down the aisle, and like she's like, all I could do is cry because it's like, what else can I do?
Yeah.
It's like this is my life,
Yeah.
and it's not mine anymore.
That was a big part of the book that made me emotional,
Mm-hmm.
was especially him noting that his life wasn't his anymore, and like I don't know, as a reader you kind of just think, man, you guys could have it's right there, just
Mm-hmm.
be open to it. So that was a little frustrating that he kept saying like, I, I'll never give her the chance to do that again. Bro, all you want is
Is
for
to be,
her
yeah,
to
exactly.
be there, is to actually give her that chance. That's all you want. So then why would you? I don't know.
It was
It
the
was a lot.
fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have three more.
Okay.
Um, this is Josiah's train of thought, and he goes, "I knew though, as soon as Deja walked in and discovered us, that I wasn't willing to give it up." That made me tear up because I was also thinking of the fact that he and Yasmin. Oh my gosh,
Who is Jasmine?
I don't know.
Oh,
He
okay.
and Yasmin were so protective over the kids, and that was their number one priority.
Amen.
So for him to see Deja and think, "Yeah, no, I can't do this. I can't. I can't put your feelings above how much I
I want,
love her."
yeah, I want, and I love your mother. Yeah,
That was huge.
big.
The next one is, "People don't become perfect when they become parents," I tell her. It's Yasmin speaking.
Mm-hmm.
"If anything, parenthood gives us more chances to screw things up, just with higher stakes. We all mess up. Sometimes we have to live with that for the rest of our lives. I can't promise I won't mess up, but I promise I will love you even when you do. Unconditionally. That means even if you can't find it in your heart to forgive me, even if you hate me." And I just
Mm.
thought that was so real
Yeah,
because I mean, she's a kid, so she's not gonna understand it yet. But your parents are people, and now that we're adults, I feel like we understand that more. But I'm sure once you become a parent, it's even more
oh, for sure.
apparent and just in your face all the time. Like, I would love to be a super mom, but I cannot. And
Yeah,
I'm trying in every way
yeah.
possible.
It's something I've been talking a lot about, like just in private conversations with friends. Just that you realize, like the quote that I've been saying a lot is like, it's my parents' first time living too.
Yeah.
So like,
Is that from a book?
I don't
I
know.
remember that. I remember reading that or hearing that or
Mhm.
something and it making me cry
Yeah.
because it's
It's
very
the
true. It's their
truth.
first
It's
time
their
living
first time
too.
living too.
Yeah.
And I know that we look at our parents and we expect them to have all the answers because they're our parents,
Yeah.
but they're also just figuring it out too.
Yeah. It's their first time getting to know you. It's their
Mhm.
first time having someone of your age.
Exactly.
It's a lot.
It
And
is.
then my last one was when Josiah was finally about to cry. He goes, it begins with a tremor, a realization that love happens in the fragile context of our mortality, that love and life occur just beyond the reach of our control. There is only one letter of difference between love and lose, and somewhere along the way, for me, they became synonymous. I understand now that something broke in me after my parents died, that somehow healed wrong, and I started measuring how much I loved people in terms of how much it would hurt to lose them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Big sigh, not the little one. Little that man.
So great.
He's such a good man, Savannah.
And also, I just wanted to point out how important it is that love happens in the fragile context of our mortality. That's it.
That's it.
Moving right along to our superlatives, I guess you could call them.
Mhm.
Um, who could you relate to? Who did you name with a superlative?
Our future president is Kasim. Most likely become famous, Deja.
This is true.
That girl is smart.
Most likely to get on my nerves was Deja.
Yeah.
All the way, kid. And then I don't think I have any other superlatives, but I will say that I felt like I related the most to Kasim
Mhm.
and wanting to be more of like a Switzerland kind of person and holding in a lot of fear because you're too smart for your own good
Mhm.
when you're that little.
Mhm.
Like me knowing that my parents were gonna die,
The girl, why are you thinking
you
that? Why are you
shouldn't
thinking
have to
that deep?
think that
Yeah.
hard. Like, yeah, sure, they will eventually pass away, but right now everything's fine. Like, we don't have to.
Be living that every day.
Yeah,
It doesn't
and
need to be consuming your little 8-year-old brain.
and also the fact that he knew that his sister was just had an attitude because she was upset about the divorce and all that
Mhm.
stuff. Like he had so much wisdom,
He
and
really did.
and then he also knew, okay, well, I have to be a little different. I have to adjust
Mhm.
my place in this family because of what Deja is like.
Right.
I felt like I related to that.
Hmm. I can see that. I don't know if I related the most to Josiah,
Hmm.
but definitely with like trying to make um like trying to make people feel better. Like you know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like I constantly am like, what's wrong? Like I'll ask you like what's wrong? And like I want to make you I don't want you to like be in those feelings and like it's
Hmm.
okay for people to be in those feelings.
I also related. I Okay, so I didn't think it was so bad that he was trying to fix everything
Hmm.
because that is something that I do.
Moving into like the things that we learned from the book,
Hmm.
it was slap in the face is like harsh, but it was like a wake up call for me
Yeah.
that like we can't control everything and that
Yeah.
you do just kind of have to like let people move at their own pace, and we can only just be supportive of them and like where they are at, and we can't
Hmm.
force them to move at our pace. We can't force them to shake out of the things that they're feeling. Like they're allowed to feel the things that they're feeling, and we
Hmm.
have to be okay with that. And it's not a reflection on us. Like it's
Hmm.
we're not responsible for how they feel, nor are they responsible for like how we're feeling.
Yeah, and that it's fine to take the moment to
Mm-hmm.
feel something. I feel like I So I've gotten better at that, especially for myself. I've gotten better at that. And I also, I don't know if it was really looked at as a strength in the book of his that he was able to say, okay, well, we have to pick up the pieces and we have to do XYZ, because I do still think that you have to do that. I think you have to
Sure.
cry, and then I think you have to figure out how you want to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously he skipped over the whole crying part, which
He was just like,
I couldn't deal with
let me
that.
fix it. Yeah.
Like, I freak out. You know me. I freak out, but then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do everything I possibly can to fix this. And I think, like you said, I get most frustrated when the problem is not fixed.
Mm-hmm.
That I did everything that I possibly could, and it still isn't perfect.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, that was one of my favorite quotes I had, and I didn't say, but I'm gonna paraphrase.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which one of them says it. It's Josiah or Yasmin, but they're
Mm-hmm.
like, "We did everything right. You know, like we graduated, we got married, we had the children, we had the successful business. It's like everything in our life worked out except for our marriage."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Ah." Oh.
Yeah.
This is what that just reminded me of what you said. It's just like, because we do try to control those things. It's like I did everything right. How is something wrong? How are you still not better? How is it still not fixed?
That's just life, bro.
Yeah. And that's what this book kind of taught me, is that like you gotta just let life.
Yeah, and as corny as it sounds, if it's meant to be, it'll come back to you.
Absolutely. And it did come back to
It
them.
did. Did you have any ideas for big screen, small screen?
I
Because I did.
do. I do. So I actually was thinking this, and then I read it has been optioned
Mm-hmm.
for a TV series. Yeah, and that's what I was
That's what I
envisioning.
wanted.
I
I
wanted
wanted a
it
small
like,
screen on
yes,
HBO Max. I wanted a limited series though.
me too. That's exactly what I wrote. I want a limited series. I said, a la from scratch, little fires everywhere. I
Yeah.
said, get on it,
You
Reese
said from
Witherspoon.
scratch, and my tear ducts just activated.
Girl,
I've never watched it again. I can't
I've
do it.
attempted, and then when once it starts to get to
No,
like the stuff, I
no,
stopped because I was like, I can't watch this twice. What am I
no.
doing? What a time in life.
Yeah. Mine. I said small screen, short, limited series on HBO Max. Specifically, for whatever reason, I kept picturing Josiah as Lance Gross. Yeah, I kept picturing him as
Ooh,
that. And
we
then
love Lance.
Yasmin was harder for me. I
Mm-hmm.
think we were talking about this earlier. I could not for the life of me remember who this person was. Um Tika Sumter, I did think of her. And then I have a bunch of other people that I was just on the internet just looking
Looking
at.
at.
Um I did think of Antoinette Robertson. I thought of Jill Scott. I thought Nia Long.
Mm.
I thought Regina Hall, but then I don't know that she fit the description of her too well. And then just for funsies, Kyla Pratt. I was like, well, why don't we just have somebody that
We know.
has
Yeah.
has acted before, and like just give them an opportunity. I don't know.
Okay. These are for your Yasmins?
Yeah.
Okay. So for my Josiah, my Josiah, I thought of Yahya Abdul Mateen II. Do you know who that is?
No.
No, you don't. But if you know, you know. Because I just thought that he's a good enough. That's no. He's a great actor, super attractive. Um, and he has that like, I think he has the age to like be like a dad of a 13-year-old. Mahershala Ali. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember his face, yes.
And then I also thought of John David Washington.
I don't really remember his face, but I know he's Denzel's son.
Mm-hmm. And I think his name is, I know his last name is Hodge. Aldonis. Aldonis. I feel like
I think it is Aldonis Hodge.
Eldonis
I remember
Hodge.
the name.
Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
love him. I feel like I don't see him enough in things, but I thought of him. Then for Yasmin, I
Hmm.
thought of Yaya DaCosta.
Okay.
You remember her?
No?
Oh, you do. She
Wait, it was
was
on American.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I actually saw her and I was like, could she? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. I thought of her, and then I also thought of Deborah Iorindi.
Hmm.
We'll put her photo up so you can
Yeah.
see her. But those are the two that I was like going back and forth when I was reading it. And then also for is it Carol? Yasmin's mom.
Oh,
Who
yes.
did you think of anyone when you were reading it?
I don't know that I thought of anybody. No.
I thought of Jennifer Lewis.
That's hilarious. If I have to think about it, I think more Cheryl Lee Ralph. I don't
Mm.
know why. What did you
Okay.
learn? For me, it was the emphasis on needing to grieve. I said that, and that you can grieve differently, and but it's all in how you acknowledge one another.
Mm.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then finally, to close out our meeting today, would you read more for this author? Yeah.
3,000%. Not only would I read more,
Yeah,
I
you
have. I've read so much more. And I can't wait to talk to you all about it.
Yeah. So, that is the end of this episode.
Yes, make sure you stay tuned for our next episode. We're going to be talking about another fan favorite.
A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Woo!
If all you fantasy girlies
Yeah, tap
tune
in.
in, because
We're going to
I
get
haven't read fantasy in
forever,
years.
years, like middle school,
I
maybe high school.
I definitely read something recently, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember what it was. Just random like books that are for free on Kindle or something like that.
Mm.
I've read that. But yeah, stay tuned. And please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Make sure you touch that notification bell so you know when we're posting. Follow us on all the socials. We'll put a link in our description. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, this has been fun, and we'll see
See
you
you at the
next
next
time.
meeting.
Yeah,
Bye,
bye,
girlies.
bye, girlies.